Hello everyone and welcome back to Dragalia Foundry. Today I have for you my second ever clear of Midgardsormr, completely different group this time, and I am running Naveed for this clear. This is also my first Deathless run of Midgardsormr, and for that whole combination of reasons I wanted to post this, give a different perspective compared to my previous video with Yuden, and also just to say, it took a long time after that first clear to get to this point. I wanted to do my weekly, so I spent about 7 hours this weekend just trying to get this clear, and my third clear was within an hour of this one. So Naveed plays a bit differently than Yuden, despite them being both sword units, primarily because of that sleep res. With that sleep res, you want to be a little bit more conservative. As you can see, I got stunned there, and right off the bat, this match was going okay, but something happens here with the first set of tornado balls that Midgardsormr spits out right now, where I thought that I was pretty much done for. Really inauspicious start to a run that ended up succeeding, and there I'm just in the corner all alone. Another kind of bad moment, but I had played about 5 matches in a row with Yuden earlier in the day, and just died before the golems on every match. I just had a really bad string of matches, so I decided to give Naveed a shot, and what I found was Naveed having sleep res kind of forced me to play a little bit more conservatively than I was with my Yuden, and Naveed just has better stats in Yuden than general, so he can provide more DPS if you are able to avoid getting stunned. Now, for the most part, I did a pretty good job at that, but as you can see, there are a few moments where I will get stunned. Once Midgardsormr has entered overdrive, I'm trying my best to apply force strikes to start to break, but this looks like a very bad moment for me, and actually pulled out an old technique of running into the tornado to avoid the purple AoE. When I was first learning to play with Naveed before my Yuden was strong enough, sometimes I would do this or do this on the golem's face to avoid dying just to get more practice. And speaking of practice, I think now I'm actually at a point where I feel more comfortable clearing this with Naveed, and my thinking is Yuden was perfect to practice with for me because Yuden had that stun res. It let me see more of the fight, learn more of the patterns, but my Naveed is more powerful now that I know those patterns, now that I'm able to do a better job avoiding getting into trouble like I was when I first started playing with my Naveed. So there you see that we all used our dragon during the break. We were using a max unbound Ifrit, a max unbound Cerberus, and a max unbound Phoenix. And of course I have a max unbound Pele. This right here, I have no idea how I survived. That was super lucky, another super lucky moment. And there I take a ball and get stunned. Luckily, my Verika is able to heal me, and then we have to make a mad dash to avoid the Gale Blast. I definitely think that survival is going to be key. You know, some groups, one person goes down and you're able to take on Midgardsormr with the remaining people, but in our case, with my somewhat low damage, my Naveed was only at 2k strength, we all kind of needed to be there in order to make this work, and this group didn't have the 2.7k Vanessa and Mikoto that we had last time for my clear with Yuden, but everything is looking really good at this point. I'm getting hopeful, but there's still a few more attacks that we need to dodge and be careful about. Then I get this Trident Tempest, and really lucky there was just a sliver of map there to survive. The other thing that's kind of cool is I was actually able to unbind my Flame Sword once because I actually managed to get a Damascus Ingot as a drop from the current raid event. So I did have a little bit more power going into this compared to my previous clear, and the reason I decided to unbind my sword and not the blade I'm currently working on crafting for Mikoto is basically that I actually plan to dismantle this sword. And I'll talk about that in a future video. That is kind of a trick to get more Twinkling Sand. I'm able to survive the 8-way there again. And even though there have been moments where I get stunned like this and can't contribute to the team, thankfully it was during moments where there wasn't a big threat to Naveed. I wasn't in a lot of danger. It just lowered our damage output, and now, at this point in the match, we are looking really good. We get a second break on Midgardsormr, and with that, the battle comes to its end. So I was really happy to be able to get this, really exhausted after trying so many times to get that second clear. Thought it would be easier, it was not easier. Hopefully next week, once my Mikoto is ready, it will be a little bit easier, but I still think it's just the nature of this fight. It is a challenge, it is an endgame activity, and even once you grind up all the materials you need or play out to get all the materials you need, it's still hard. It's still hard to do this. So there you see it. I got my Deathless Endeavor and my completion reward for getting all of the endeavors completed. Midgardsormr is down. I was able to successfully do my weeklies. Thank you to For the Void, Yue, and Balmund, who I played with for this successful clear. And later in the day, I was able to get my third clear with Naveed. Pretty similar team composition to what you saw here. And I actually rolled into Tornado in that one too to avoid a Trident Tempest. You gotta do what you gotta do sometimes to survive with these sleep res characters. But super happy I was able to get this, still riding the high from the first clear and this one. Just wanted to post this to you as I have it now, and I am still working on other content that I've promised you, like the squad showcase for water. Expect that to come out this week. Fingers crossed everything goes well. I definitely didn't expect it to take this long for me to complete my weeklies, but here we are. This is how long it took, but I will try to catch up with all of the content you're looking forward to this week to the extent I can. Here is one final look at the Naveed that I was running for this clear. Definitely let me know how this is going for you, just like with the first video, especially if you're planning on using a sword unit. I'd be curious to hear what your experience is. Otherwise, take care everyone. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you next time.